So I've started recording. So as I said the other time, feel free to make use of the charts. Let's make this as interactive as possible. Today, what we want to do is, sometime in April, we did use ChatGPT to do a brief analysis of some data, but then we had a bit of hiccups here and we couldn't finish. So today we are going to repeat what we did then. So we are going to be using ChatGPT to complete a data science project. So we are going to go from different stages to another. What we are going to do today will be about 80%. 80% of what we are going to be doing today is going to be done by ChatGPT. The data set that we are going to use is on this is a cargo data set for loan data. So I'm going to just copy and paste that in the chat in case you want to follow up. Yes, you can watch the replay of that one in April. I'll check. I'm not sure. I think I recorded it. Yeah, I will send the link to us. So I've put the data set that we're going to be using today in the chat. So what we are going to cover project planning. We do exploratory data analysis. We do feature engineering, reprocessing and balancing the data, model selection. We'll do hyperparameter tuning and model evaluation. And then we briefly talk about different ways how you can be effective in writing ChatGPT prompts. So let me go to, I want to believe that we've all used ChatGPT, but in case you are new to ChatGPT, I'll put this in the chat as well. The first thing you need to do is for you to have an account. If you can, the first thing you do is you have an account. If you create an account for yourself, it is a free account, so you don't have to pay for it. Although there are two options. If you want to use ChatGPT 4, that is when you have to pay. But for the sake of these tutorials, we are going to be using ChatGPT 3, and everything we are going to be doing today is going to be free. There are things that you can do for free. Thank you I can see that somebody is engaging in the chat. So I would like if you can keep that coming. That's nice. So when you are doing a data science project, well, let me just start. We are going to do everything using ChatGPT. So the first thing I will encourage you to do is to first give ChatGPT a role to play in this. And the way you are going to do that is for you to say act as we are doing data science, so we can say act as an experienced data scientist. So we can say understood. The reason why we are asking ChatGPT to act is that because if you just put your prompts without asking it to act, it can just give you a generalized or poor answers. So, but when you ask ChatGPT to act, it means ChatGPT is going to be playing the role of that experienced data scientist that you want. So the next thing we are going to do after ChatGPT, yes, you can see the reply. Yeah, so the next thing we are going to do is we'll now look at the data sets that we want to analyze. Today, we are going to be we are using the loan data sets from Kaggle. I put that data set in the charts, but in case you want to see that data set, this is a data set. So if you go to Kaggle, all you can do is you download the data set. If you don't have an account in Kaggle, you can always create an account. It's easy to create an account. Is that clear? So, and after that, we now go with our prompts. I have the prompts ready, so I won't be typing. I would more of copy and paste. So as I'm copying and pasting, I will explain along the way. The first thing that we are going to be doing is to plan the project. We are going to follow, to plan the projects. And when it comes to planning the project, you want to know, you want to have come up with an optimal strategy. And then in terms of resources and everything. So the first you need to do is to plan. And let me look at the way we are going to, so we are going to tell ChatGPT that we have a data set, a long data set that consists maybe so number of rows, so number of columns. We name that column and we say, can you list the step I have to follow to develop an end-to-end project? So I will just So I'm saying I have a long data set that consists this. These are the columns. Can you assist? Can you lead the steps I have to follow to develop an end-to-end data science projects? So once we do that, please let me know if you can see my screen or if it is too small. As you can see, it is giving us the steps that we want to, that it will expect us to go through. It wants us to understand, correctly define the problem, data exploration and cleaning, feature engineering, data preparation and splits, and model selection and the likes. So which is quite good. But if we look at this, there, there are problems with the data set because they have the knowledge of data sets we want to analyze. There is imbalance. Some of the data set is imbalanced. So we want it to tackle the imbalance problem. So based on that, we can always add extra uh, extra prompts to it to tell ChatGPT that we need to it needs to consider the imbalance data sets, because let me explain how that imbalance works. You know, you have some, please kindly mute yourself. So, and the way imbalance works is, sometimes, for example, we have a loan data set. We want it to decide if it is to approve or reject. Uh, Many times it will reject. The number of applications that are rejected might be more than the ones that is approved, because it considers credit score and some other things. So because of that, the data in terms of there is disparity in the data sets for approved or reject. So, and if we don't take that into consideration, our model, because it has more of one class to train on, might experience a level of bias. So because of that, we need to tackle that imbalance data set. So then we add the prompt, please include class imbalance issues and accurately predict whether a loan will be paid back, rather than if a loan is, okay, if a loan would not be paid back rather than if the loan is paid back. Yeah, the reason is because companies, banks wants to make sure that their loan is paid back. So if it's possible for someone not to pay back the loan, they don't want to give the loan. Then it will come up with something better, where it's going to be considering that class imbalance that we talked about. So let's look at what we have here. Problem understanding and data cleaning and preparation, feature engineering, model selection, model training and evaluation. Okay, I just want to copy what we have here. Because as I said, that is what we are going to be following. Okay. In terms of understanding the problem, that is us going through the problem to know what we need to do. So that's number one. But I would just, that doesn't require code, so I will remove that one. So the first one is data exploration, feature engineering. Let's see the third one, data preparation and splits. Yeah, that is correct. Model selection, model training and evaluation, model fine-tuning and optimization, model deployment and monitoring. We are not going to be deploying the model today, and then we will not also be doing documentation. Okay, we are not doing the last two, but I think the first six is okay. So I'll put this on my second screen if that's okay. Okay, so and then I will go to my Jupyter notebook. Okay, I have my Jupyter notebook here. Uh, I just want to let you know that the data set that we are using, I've already downloaded it and I have it. This is it, loan data. So I did that before this tutorial, before I start. So what I'm going to tell ChatGPT to do next is to give us, or to give us the stats. So we are going to, I'll split my screen into two so that I can be accessing ChatGPT from one screen and implementing on the second screen. Okay, so what I'm going to type next is, I would say, please write a Python code to load and perform data exploratory. Perform, I'll just say ETA to learn data sets. You see, one thing that we need to about this is that it will remember what we've done in the past. So we don't need to keep reminding it. Let's see what we have here. It seems to have gone far ahead, but I'm going to be splitting it down into different stages. So what we are going to do first is we want to load, there are different stages we don't want to just do everything at once. We want to use different cells. At least we follow our data science activities the way we do it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to load our data. So, and that is what I'm going to do here. I will say import data. And to import the data, we can use the first few lines of this code. We can just use it directly from ChatGPT. And what this code is saying is that it's importing pandas. It is importing pandas is a Python package that is used for data manipulation when you are using the data frame. And then matplotlib and seaborn, you can use them for visualization. And the reason, so that's obviously that's the reason why we are using these three. And then the loan, it calls it loan data sets. You need to be careful around this. If you look at my folder, I save this as loan underscore data. So based on that, I'll be changing that to loan underscore data. And then if I want to view, I can say loan underscore data dot add so that we can see the first 5 rows. And that is it. So what we are going to do next is, what is the next one? Let me check. Yeah, we can, if you look at what we have there, it's showing us okay, we can get an overview of the data based on what we have here. So with loan underscore data, it's .info is going to show you the column name. It will tell you if there is a missing column, and also it will tell you the type, the data type. As we can see in this particular data set, it appears there are no missing column. And this doesn't happen in real life. It's only happening because it's a cargo data set and the data has been cleaned. So in real life, you won't be encountering that. So, and yeah, so the next thing is we can try to use what we have here. That's the statistics for it to describe the data set. Well, I think I can remove this. Let me remove this print so that we can view it in a, I think that's better. And we can see the number of data sets, the mean, the standard deviation, the minimum, the 25, 50%, and 75% percentile across the data sets. And there is a way we can check if a data set is missing, although we've seen it through the info there, but we can also use is null. Let's see how that works. As you can see, this will show you the sum of data. If any data is missing, it will show you the sum of data that is missing here. As you can see, because no missing data, that is why this is the way it is. So what we are going to do next, you see we are still using what we have in the code that we were given here. We want to check this distribution. Is there a comment there? Oh, okay. So if you look at this, we are checking the distribution of the target variable, and we are using Seaborn, so it's can't plot. So let's run this. And as you can see, that is the distribution of not fully paid versus fully paid. So you can see the reason, you can see that the data set is not balanced. So definitely for this data set, there's a need for us to do some balancing. What we want to do next, based on the recommendation here, we want to explore the relationship between feature and target variable. So, and we can do that. You can see how much we've done just with ChatGPT. Here we can increase the font and the size of this image so that we can see it properly. But we can see based on each column, interest rate by purpose and not fully paid. And the next thing that we want, we can still continue that one. Interest rates by FICO score. Yeah, I need to check what is FICO score. If anybody knows what that is, please feel free to put it in the chat. I would like to, I can also, I'm open to learning. Could you copy the ChatGPT instruction to the chat here so we can copy it ourselves, please? Okay, I'll do that. 1 second. Okay, the first thing is acting as an, now the first one, and then this is the second one. It's nice to see that some of you are following. I like that. And then let me go to the next one. This is when we said we want the imbalance to be part of it. And then we're now performing the EDA. So I now have all these. Yeah, everything is now there. Yeah, sorry, sorry, have not looked at the charts in a while, but I've done that now. So I'll just put the chart somewhere I can keep my eyes on it. Yeah, thanks, Gary. So let's go back to this. And I like the correlation it's map, so I will do that next. So yeah, so you see that making use of okay, yeah, I think if you look at this, you can see that you can adjust this image to be bigger. You can use you can use some you can set the figure size, and if you do that, it will be clearer. But one thing I would like you to take away from this is that it's amazing what you can do in just a few minutes with just with the right instruction to ChatGPT. So the next thing that we are going to do, we want to move to the next. We want to move to feature engineering. Yeah, let me see. Here is my Yeah. So the next is feature engineering. So that's what we are going to do next. And we are still not going to do it ourselves. What we are going to do is we are going to be asking ChatGPT to do this for us. Yes, I'm recording this. This is recorded. So what we are going to do, we are going to be asking ChatGPT to write a Python code to perform feature engineering. It's like it's just giving us everything. So I would say I only want the feature engineering parts. So interesting, it has done the feature engineering. So if I'll copy this and then explain what this is here. So as you can see, here the categorical column is we have some categorical columns. So what it is doing is it's converting those categorical columns to zeros and one, and it is using one auth encoder. So and then we also have the numerical columns. So for the numerical columns, it is applying standard scalar to it. Uh, Standard scalar it helps to scale the data. And one of the benefit of using a standard scalar is, imagine you have a data set that has maybe 5, and within the same column, there is a value of maybe 100. When you use standard scalar, it's naturally the model will tends to move towards the bigger value. Okay, for example, if you want to calculate average, and you have many data that is 97, 98, 90, 80, and you have data that is 10, 12, automatically the median will tends to go towards the bigger values. But with standard scalar, it can put everything between 0 and 1, and or maybe -1 and 1, depending. And doing that means that all the data have equal inputs on the results. Okay, yeah, that is true. I need to add the imports, or else we are going to have error. So that's from. So thank you very much. It's nice to know that I'm not alone. So if we can go ahead to run this one now. Yeah, it looks like I can't spot any error. So I will just go ahead to run it. Yep, I think that's it. And if we can look at this for the feature engineering, let's see if but it has not actually done the feature engineering. It has only scale. it using standard scalar and one odds encoder. For feature engineering, what you do in feature engineering is seeing if we can get new columns from the data sets. So I'm going to be asking more questions from ChatGPT. And that is why it is important for you to know what you're doing. I want the feature engineering to generate the new columns that can help new insights. Let me give, for example, for example, installment to income ratio. So let's see. So with this new one now, it has generated installment to income ratio for us. So that's a new column. Because with us having been able to predict what people can actually afford, like I think that is very important when it comes to when it comes to loan. I can just go to this place and so because I don't actually want this previous one, I will just quickly go back to load the data again. Yeah, the imports. Oh, thank you. I keep forgetting to add the imports. Yeah, the import is pandas. So this is here we are adding a new column. That column is installment to income ratio. So let's see the way ChatGPT is calculating the installment to loan ratio. So loan data is dividing the installment by the log dot annual income. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So we can now run that. So with that, we will now have that extra column. We now have that extra column. So what we want to do next is we want to do some pre-processing. And what we do in that pre-processing is we want to, the data set might have, we do what we've done initially in terms of standard scaling and the like. That is what we now want to do next. So we can just move this. Actually, I can just copy this one. Yeah, so I can just run this because ChatGPT has run earlier to do what we didn't ask. Yeah. So yeah, so I think if we run that now, that is it. Okay. And the next thing we now do is we want to undo the imbalance. We have imbalance data sets. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT to give us the imbalance. Write, write a Python code to handle class imbalance using let me say you should use smooth. Smooth emblem is a popular package for that one. So imports, okay, as we can see, if we let me copy it into a widescreen, I can, in case you see it's better there. So what we are doing here is, let me remove, we already load the data set, so we don't need this. So Smooth is a package that is used to, that we can use to balance data sets. So what is doing now is X is, we have the feature and we have the feature and we have the target. So X are the features, Y is the target. So it's resampling both, and then after the resampling, it's going to fit it with fit underscore resample XY, and then with that, we can print the distribution here. That is what has been resampled. So it's a good practice for us to add a random state, to add random states here, random states. Most times they use 42, but you can just use any number. The purpose of doing that is so that when you run this again, you can have the same results. So now that we've done that, I will run this. So you can see now we have equal amounts of X and Y. We have equal amount of fully paid and not fully paid. So with that now, we've removed the imbalance in the data sets, and we can move to the next step. So what we want to do next is we want to move into model selection. So we are going to be using a prompt. I'm just going to copy and paste. So I've put it in the chat in case you're following, and then so what's we are let's what the prompt is that write a follow-up Python code for model selection. So I'm saying I want it to try decision tree, random forest, logistic regression, or support vector machine. So I'm adding only include the model selection part so that it doesn't go and start importing and everything. So yeah, so that's why I have added that. So if I run this now, so we just copy this and we paste here. I hope this session is adding value. So if I quickly explain what ChatGPT has done here, uh, it has imported files from sklearn. It has imported train test splits, which will help to split the data into train and tests, decision tree classifier, random forest classifier, logistic regression, and support vector machine. Those are the 4 models that I've included in the prompt, and that is what ChatGPT has returned. So the next is the splitting. You notice that it is performing that split on the new X and Y. That is what our resampled data sets, and it's using a test size of 0.2, and it has set the random state to be 42, so that it's easy for us to repeat this process and get the same results. And after that, for model in models, it's going to fit all the models one after the other, and then it will calculate our accuracy, and it's going to print our accuracy. So with that, we can, with the loop, with the for loop that we have here, we are going to be able to compare the results of the different models that we are building. So we can see decision tree 82.72, random forest 90.0, logistic regression 0.63. And then let's see what support vector machine is going to give us. And support vector machine 0.6265. So, and we can still do some, now that it has given us this model, you know, I usually call this a base model. So we can still do more to, we can set the parameters so that we can get the best results. So, and the good thing is ChatGPT can still do this for us as well. All we need to do is to create some follow-up prompts. So, but if you look at this model, it appears that random forests perform better than others. So I would just be trying to tune random forests, if that's okay. Let me know if you agree with me in the chat that we should focus on fine-tuning random forests, since it appears to be the model with the highest score. Thanks, Gary. So I'm just going to say select random forests and write a Python code for. Okay, let's go ahead to do that. I'm saying select random forest classifier, and then write a Python code for model evaluation. We are going to be using accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score as metric, and cross-validation to ensure the model is not overfitting to the training data. So I'll just paste that here and run this. So don't worry, I will just copy this and explain what has happened here. Copy, paste. So here it creates this is the random forest model, and then the scoring, accuracy, precision, recall, and the likes. And then it's now creating the cross validation here. We are using 5. For cross validation, you can use 5, you can use 10. And then it will calculate the mean and then get the results. This is for the results for cross validation. Let's do that and let's see what we are going to get. Let me tell you, one of the advantage of doing cross validation is it helps your model it helps to diversify training your data sets, because it means that your data is going to train using every part of your data sets. And as you can see, after after we've done this now, you can see that the model reduced from 90 to like accuracy is now 82.52, precision, everything comes down. It is because probably initially the model might have been overfitting on some part of the data set, but with the cross-validation, it has removed that negativity from the training. And now that we've done that, what we want to do now is we want to identify, we have, what we did in this is that we have 5 different model, with cross-validation. If you can see that CV equals to 5. So it means that we divided our data sets into 5 and we've developed 5 different models, and we find the mean of those 5 models. What we want to do now is we want to select the best of those 5 models. We want to look at which situation gives us the best among the 5. So we are going to we are going to be writing a prompt, an update prompt that it should, so we say we want to have the best performing model. Okay, we say also include a parameter tuning in the above code and save the best performing model. So I'll just copy this and I'll explain it. So now what we are doing that is different from the previous one is we want to actually know which of the model has performed best and at which parameter. And for random forests, it has different estimators, 100, 200, 300. If you like, you can add more estimators to it. And then in terms of the depths, and then we have minimum sample splits. So you feel free to add maybe 100 or something, depending to your own. Well, this is just the base. And we are saying this best model, best estimator, this function will give you the best model. Let me ask it to print the best model. Print best underscore model. And then we are saving the model. Yeah, yep. I think that is it. Let me run this. Please ask question if you think there is something that if there is something you want me to add, or feel free to ask. But you can see this a complete data set that we are doing together in 1 hour. And if you are not doing this as a presentation on your own, you can do it in maybe less than 30 minutes. So it's amazing what we can do with ChatGPT. And just for me to reinforce that, ChatGPT is not going to take anybody's job. What it will do is people with ChatGPT, they are the ones that will replace people that refuse to learn and upskill. So if you just try to make use of it when you can, because I know there are a lot of yes, I can share the notebook. I'll try to share the notebook. I know if you've I'll put the notebook on GitHub and I'll share the link with everyone. If you just follow the page. I know there are so many stuff around ChatGPT, is this, is that, but uh, the application is getting better and better, and it will continue to get better. So it's better for you to upskill. Next month, I'm thinking of doing something around the costume ChatGPT, where it will be like a chatbot that we can use ChatGPT to relate with our own PDF files, our own documents. And I think it's going to be nice. It's something that we can try. One thing is sometimes this takes a bit of time, a few minutes, and I think it's because it's going through each condition at 100, at 200, at 300, none, 5, 10. So this is going to do 9 different scenarios before coming up with the results. Yeah, Joe, I'm going to share the recording. If you, I'll put it in our meetup group chat. I'll send it to everyone, so you are going to get it. And if you can stay to the end, there is an announcement that I need to make towards the end. So, and I think once this finish loading, this is pretty much the end of it. The other thing I want to talk to us about is about making the prompts, because for this, the more the better you are at coding, the better the prompts you are going to write. So you need to be able to write good prompts. So I'm going to be giving us some tips on how we can write our prompts. While this is still going, maybe I should just continue talking about that. So if you want to improve your experience with ChatGPT, one thing you should always do is you want to make sure that you write clear and concise prompts. Let it be straightforward, ChatGPT, and don't rush to write everything in one sentence. As you can see, my first prompt is, I want you to act or maybe assume you are an experienced, maybe data scientist or data engineer or something, understood, try to engage. And, after getting that reply, I make sure that, okay, ChatGPT know what we want to do. And then the next thing is about what is the project all about? I said, we have a loan data set, uh, which with these columns and rows, try to tell, and then with that history, ChatGPT get it, and then after that, you can now start trying the prompts. There is no perfect way of writing the prompts. There are times that you will write the prompts and it won't be the best. As you can see, the first prompt I wrote here, I didn't include that I want the best model. So, but after seeing this, I noticed that something is missing, and then I said include this. So you keep trying and you keep improving as you go. And also, if your code has an error, you can always copy that error and put it for ChatGPT. That's okay. I have this error. We are fortunate in this data set because it's a cargo data set. It has already been cleaned. In some data sets, there would be errors. So ChatGPT can always give you some other alternative. And then when you are using ChatGPT, as you can see, there are times that it gives something and like when it gives us what we want to do, you see that okay, this is what we would do, this is what we won't do. It's not, you don't use ChatGPT 100%. It's supporting your job, it's supporting your work, not replacing, not doing everything. So that human input is still important. And also, you should use ChatGPT for common tasks. If you look at all we've done here today, they are common, df.ed, all these are common tasks. If it is something that is not common or requires a bit of more logic, it's better you do that yourself, so that you can be sure of the best result. But you can always scale through the task and select what you do and what you can quickly add the prompts to do. And you can use it to learn something new as well, like write new tutorials. You can use ChatGPT to put comments on your code. Yeah, you can use it to put comments. You can just I can quickly show you that one. If you, let's assume I'll just write the code and ask ChatGPT to explain the code, or maybe to add comments, and you'll see that it will add comment to it. Okay, let's assume we have this code. Okay, I'll remove the comments and ask ChatGPT to help us comment the code. So you can just, okay, because sometimes you write codes and you forget to, okay, so you can just say, help, okay, you can say add comments to this code. You can say it will update the code with by adding comment to it. This is taking some time, but by the time it comes, it's going to save the best model, and it will give a similar result to what we have here. Let me just quickly make the announcement I have for us before we go. I don't want us to pass. I think we are on the time that I want to. I'll just. It's a message that we have from one of our message. Yeah, we have a message from Scott Black, and is looking for Scott Black is a founder of Claymore Surgical Limited, an early stage Glasgow-based startup focusing on developing diagnostic software for pediatric sleep disorder. And they are working in collaboration with the NHS Glasgow and Clyde. So they are developing a novel machine learning algorithm, which can be applied to time series medical data, ECG, EEG signals. So what he wants now is he's looking for two individuals. Please, if you can mute yourself, that would be great. So he's looking for someone that is interested in being the commercial co-founder, and hopefully that will transition to a CTO role in future. And also looking for a second person that will help develop the model itself, the algorithm itself, that will work directly with the CTO. So there are people that have strong background in data science and ML. So if you are interested in any of these two positions, please get in touch with Scott. I'm going to put Scott's email in the chat for us. So, or if you have any advice for Scott, if you are interested in collaboration in any form. So I'm just putting details of let me even put everything in the chat. For some of us that are interested, please look at it. For some reason it's not pasting. But I will, I can send that to everybody through a message as well. So, but I hope you get the email. So does anyone have a question or comments before we go? Yeah, do we have comment question? If there are no comments and question, thank you for joining us today. Thank you very much. And I have a recording of this session. I will make effort to share it for everybody. I will send it to you through the email. So if you watch your email. So thank you, Dan. Thank you all for your good comments. Thank you for joining today. And definitely I'll see you next month. Have a nice Friday evening.